Milka Nail Art Tutorial by Hot Pink Zebra Polish. Begin by painting your thumbnail white and your pointer, middle, ring, and pinky nails a light purple. On your ring nail, we're going to start by painting the outline of the Milka cow, and I'm going to be using a darker purple instead of black. So I'm going to start by painting almost like a really deep U shape, and this is going to be for her head. And then add just a little line from side to side, and this is going to be for where her nose is. And then on either side of the top of the U, you're going to paint petal type shapes. And these are for her ears. And then add little lines going up, and then a platform across the top of her head. And then add her eyes. These are really long oval eyes. So now I'm going to be filling in her nose with white acrylic paint. And then also adding her horn. So that little step up we added above her ears, that's going to be the width of her horns. So now I'm going to be shading in her ear area and around her face just a little bit with a medium purple. So this purple is not as dark as the color that you outlined with, but it's also darker than the color you painted your nails. And now shade in her nose and her horns, and I'm using silver. You could also use a light gray if you'd rather. So now, because we outlined before we did her horns, you're going to need to outline those. And also, if you did get any of your outlines looking a little funny before, if you repainted over them on accident or something, you can also touch those up, or if before you did them really lightly, just as almost a sketch, you can define them now. And then, once you got all of your lines how you want them, you're going to want to be giving her her nostrils, and those are just 2 little circles. On your thumbnail, we're going to be painting the whole Milka cow, so I'm going to start by using a lavender acrylic paint, and I'm going to paint that same U shape for her head, except for this time you're going to want to fill that in. So you want it to be a solid shape, and then add an ear off to each side, and then paint a large oval-shaped body off to the side. And as you can see, it kind of covered up the ear that I painted on that side before. That's okay. I still want to paint it just so that I know where it is. That way, later when we're outlining it and finding where that is, it's going to be easier. So now with white paint, just like we did before, we're going to be filling in her nose. And then you're also going to want to make her tummy white. And it's kind of on a wavy looking line, or I don't know, a curvy line. And as you can see, I'm leaving little tiny bits of that lavender color. And then you're also going to want to paint her front feet, or her feet that are closest to the camera, white, and her horns. And even though these are on top of the white background, you still can see, and it's going to help you later when you're outlining. So, as I've been talking about, we're going to be outlining with the same dark purple we used on the other nail. And like I said, it's going to help you know where the ear is just to paint it before, even if you painted over it, you no longer see what you painted. So as you're doing this, you're going to want to continue to add those details, like her eyes and her nostrils. And when you're outlining her horns, you're going to want to make sure that you have a tiny little bit of paint on so that your lines don't get too thick. If you have a large amount of paint, your lines are going to be thicker. If you have a small amount of paint on the brush, it's going to be thinner, more delicate looking lines. And also, as you're outlining, you're going to want to add the feet that are further from the camera or further from your point of view, and we're going to be filling those in with silver, but you just don't want to forget to add those in. And then also don't forget to give her a tail, and then just a few little drops above her head. Alright, so then as I mentioned, fill in those back feet with silver. And now I'm going to add just a couple little highlights on her tail with white. And then you're going to be painting the word Milka across her body. And I'm going to start with the L, and that's about in the middle. So now on your pointer nail, we're going to be painting the Milka logo just like we did on the back of the cow. And so I'm going to start with the L again using white paint. And when you're looking at this, these are really curvy letters. They're really girly, curvy letters. So you're going to want to just sort of let them flow and paint them really fluidly. And now we're going to be shadowing each letter, and I'm using the dark purple that I've been using all along. And sometimes I know that it seems kind of daunting to do this shadowing because it's sometimes hard to tell which areas need to be shadowed. But if you just think about it, like for me, I know that the right of each letter and the bottom of each letter gets shadowed. And if you just keep that in mind when you're doing each one, it's a breeze. So then on your middle and pinky, I'm painting a cow print with white on top of my lavender nail. And this is almost like clouds too. You could think of it as clouds or, you know, cow print or however you want to think about it. So just paint really loose, round shapes all over your nail. And then, of course, add a layer of top coat. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked my design. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook and Twitter. I always love to see them. They're beautiful. And I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye!